Good afternoon and welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima, where tonight we have Class B Section 5 football between the home Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars and the visiting Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team. Senior night here tonight at HFL. I'm Peter Carosa, joined along Steve Bradley. The senior night festivities are already underway here. Steve, you want to run us through who's been recognized thus far?
Sure. They started with the senior cheerleaders tonight for HFL. Maddie Wood, Kaylin Allen, Kaylee White, Dalen Wilson, Lauren Clark, Ava Woodcock, Caden Benson, and B. Whalen. And they just went through there, and now they're starting with the varsity football players.
So being announced right now, starting with Nathan Adair, senior defensive lineman, accompanied by his parents, Nancy and John, and his brother Patrick, I believe, who is also on the team, number 54.
Yeah, and we had fun with them in the preseason when they both came through the line. We asked them, you guys able to get along okay? And Patrick's like, no, I can beat up on my big brother when I want to. But today it's not Patrick's day; it's his brother's day.
So it looks like up next, number 81, that's Drew Angelo.
Yeah, Drew came into the team a couple weeks ago. Decided to come out after the Batavia game. He's accompanied by his parents, Megan and Ralph, his sister Shay, and his brother Luke. He enjoys hunting, playing basketball, and playing lacrosse. Future plans, Drew's actually one of the best face-off men in lacrosse in the high school in the country. He's going to go to Syracuse University and play for Gary Gate. His favorite memory is joining the team halfway through the season. His favorite accomplishment that he's most proud of, harvesting an elk in New Mexico last year. And his advice to future players, work hard when no one's watching.
And he had his first touchdown a week ago for the HFL Cougars. Next up, number 78, Brody Burke, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Tonight he's accompanied by his parents, Carol and Barry, his brother, Riley, his brother's fiance, his sister, Michaela, and his sister's boyfriend. National Honor Society president, executive class president, and enjoys being with family and friends when he's not playing football. Future plans is to go to college to study psychology. His favorite memory was beating Batavia. The accomplishment he's most proud of is winning every election in high school, and his advice to future players, don't run like a dinosaur or your coaches will make fun of you.
Good advice for everybody. Next up, we've got number 1, Ben Cook, running back defensive lineman. Joined tonight by his parents, Lindsay and Jeff Cook, his sister, Sydney, and his grandmother. In addition to playing football, Ben plays lacrosse, enjoys lifting, fishing, and working on his business. His future plans are to attend Rochester Institute of Technology, study business, and play lacrosse, Tigers perennial Division III power. His favorite memory, beating Batavia this year. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is winning the Scholar Athlete Award this fall. And his advice to future players, listen to Ernie.
Next up for senior night, number 52, Austin Krigo, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, accompanied tonight by his parents, Tara and Rick, his sister, Kirsten, and nephew, Sutton. Other hobbies, sports, and academics include basketball, lacrosse, and hunting. He plans to attend the SLTC Lineman Training Center in Trenton, Georgia, in their electrician program. Favorite memory is the team dinners with the fellas. Accomplishment he's most proud of is pancaking Owen Engler in practice. And advice to future players, make the best memories of your life because someday that's all you'll have left of football.
And a great shot of him carrying his nephew out there, too. That's going to be, and I think his name is Hudson, that he'll remember. Up next is number 33, running back, defensive back, Patrick Donahoe. He's accompanied by his parents, Deb and Mark Donahoe. In addition to playing football, Patrick plays box lacrosse and field lacrosse, is involved in Boy Scouts, and enjoys skiing and fishing. His future plans are to play college lacrosse, start his own construction business, and landscaping business as well. Favorite memory, all the bus rides back from games with the boys. Accomplishment he's most proud of is beating Batavia back in September. And advice to future players, don't get beat deep and don't get caught lacking, not knowing what specs you're on. Thanks to Mom, Dad, and all the coaches.
Next up, number 55, Aaron Fasik, offensive lineman and middle linebacker, accompanied by his parents, Laura and John, and his brother, Alex. Other sports hobbies, academics include going to the gym, hanging out with friends, and playing sports for fun like basketball and baseball. Future plans are to explore physical therapy and maybe business management. Favorite memory, pasta parties with teammates and pre-games with the boys. Accomplishment most proud of, beating Batavia earlier this year. Advice to future players, get in the weight room and always work hard.
Next up, we've got senior captain Landon Hammond, number 2. He's accompanied by his parents, Jamie and Scott Hammond, sisters, Avi and Olivia, and his grandparents, Sherry and Jim. His other interests and hobbies include playing baseball and basketball. He plans to attend college, and he's considering business or education as a major. His favorite memory is pasta parties with his teammates. And the accomplishments that he's most proud of, 1, I have 2, we've heard this one a lot tonight, Peter, beating Batavia anytime, any sport, and 2, having the most drip on the team. And again, his advice, and this would be probably any DB would say it, don't get beat deep.
So up next, number 22, Paul Yakabuchi, wide receiver, defensive back, accompanied tonight by his parents, Michael and Melissa. Other sports hobbies, academics include baseball, National Honor Society, National Spanish Honor Society, skiing and golfing. Plans to study computer engineering in college. Favorite memory, hanging out with the boys in the locker room and weight room and having fun at practice. Accomplishment he's most proud of, scoring a touchdown against Monroe. Advice to future players, don't worry about screwing up, lift big weights, and be sure to always catch the ball.
Number 5, Cooper Levine, being announced now. He's a wide receiver and defensive lineman. He's joined by his parents, Carrie and AJ, his sister, Mackenzie, and his grandparents, Steve and Chrissy Spitz. In addition to playing football, he's a member of the wrestling and baseball teams. Future plans include going to college for science and football. Favorite memory, beating Batavia earlier this year. And the memory he's most proud of is getting the only sack on Monroe. And his advice to future players, work hard and don't give up no matter what.
So following Cooper, we have senior quarterback Matt Meacham, accompanied tonight by his parents, Judy and Dan, his grandmother, and his younger brother, Nate, who's also a member of the team. Other sports hobbies, academics include baseball and basketball, and he says he enjoys dominating his brothers in any game that they play at the house. Future plans include playing football in college, but he's not sure what he wants to study just yet. Favorite memory is being able to play with his brothers and making tons of new lifelong friends and memories along the way. Accomplishment he's most proud of, breaking the passing touchdown school record on the same day Andrew broke the receiving touchdown school record. More on that later in tonight's broadcast. Advice to future players, have a thick skin in the film room and at practice because Russ will show no mercy. Most importantly, have fun and enjoy every moment with your boys. Thank you to my parents and everyone who has supported my love for the sport.
Next up, we've got Chase Perryman. Chase is number 44. He's a wide receiver and defensive back. He's actually not in attendance tonight because he has a prior commitment. He's attending the 2024 commits weekend at St. Bonaventure. He's going to St. Bonaventure to play lacrosse. He also plays basketball, lacrosse, and enjoys hunting and fishing. His future plans are to play D1 lacrosse at St. Bonaventure. His favorite memory is not blocking for Scott. I bet you that's not Scott's favorite memory. The accomplishment he's most proud of is a 15-yard gain against Geneva. And his advice to future players is always ask questions if you don't know what's going on.
Up next, number 14, senior kicker Avery Reynoldson, accompanied tonight by parents Renee and Steve, sisters Izzy and Cameron, and grandparents Rick and Sue. Other sports hobbies, academics include soccer and unified basketball. Future plans include soccer at Monroe Community College and studying education. Her favorite memory is dunking on Russ after a PAT and having him owe her $5. Coach Wise always hyping her up as well. Accomplishment she's most proud of is going 7 for 7 versus Virtus. Her advice to future players, always cheer on the sidelines.
And last but not least, we have senior wide receiver defensive back Andrew Wanzenreed. He's joined by his parents, Jill and Rick, his brother Mason, Grandma Linda, and his grandparents, Don and Ginger Mason. Linda Wanzenreed is his grandma. Other sports include baseball, golf, and sometimes basketball. He plans to pursue a college education studying finance and law. His favorite memory is getting the opportunity to play with his brother during the sectional winning season. That was way back in 2021. Accomplishment he's most proud of is setting multiple school records that will be broken by next year's receivers. His advice to future players: learn from everyone, coaches, older players, the NFL, watch others, and constantly make yourself better.
So that is the class of 2024. As we mentioned, senior night here at HFL as they host Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton. DWC has 9 seniors of their own. We have about 15 more minutes here before kickoff at James Dollard Athletic Stadium. Both teams will have a little bit more time to warm up, and then we'll be ready for the national anthem and coin toss. So we're going to take a quick break at HFL, and we'll be back with the keys to the game and, as I mentioned, coin toss and national anthem. So thanks for tuning in to the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live online. Back live here at James Dollard Athletic Stadium on the campus of Honeoye Falls-Lima, where we are just under 10 minutes to kickoff between DWC and HFL. Before we start tonight, we want to go over the Bullfinch Fund keys to the game. Steve, you want to start us off tonight?
Yeah, sideline shuffle, Peter. This game's a little bit interesting because both teams are going to be without key members of their coaching staff. Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton is going to be without their head coach, Chad Perry, who his brother's getting married out of state. So his duties are going to be shared by a couple of assistant coaches, Paul Keeley, who is actually his high school teammate at Caledonia Mumford, and also Coach Darren. Where's Darren's last name? Coach Darren Knapp. So kind of an adjustment there. We talked to Coach Perry earlier in the week, and he said the team's going to be ready. They're used to both voices, so he's there. With Honeoye Falls-Lima, Dan Hoyt, the offensive coordinator, also has a wedding this week. So his duties are going to be handled by Garrett Parker, who is the normal junior varsity coach, so he'll get a crack at making the offensive calls tonight.
Next, Bullfinch Fund keys to the game, finding balance. This is particularly for HFL. We've seen in their last two games, they've had a run-heavy attack and then a pass-heavy attack. Tonight they're going to be looking to try and balance out that offense, certainly for DWC as well. This is the second game that they have their quarterback, Nate Gardner, back. So trying to build the offense back together as we approach sectionals.
And the third key, junior defensive lineman Elijah Bender from Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton, Peter. He's had 10 sacks in the last 5 games. He was an all-Class B player last year. He's a standout wrestler. And whether he's able to dominate or HFL's able to contain him tonight, either way that goes is going to go a long way in shaping the face of this game.
So, Steve, you also have the out-of-town scores. This is the last Class B contest of the weekend, so if you want to run through those.
Sure. It's been a busy afternoon in Class B. Everything was on Saturday afternoon. I think the team at the top of the bracket, Monroe, moves to 6-0 with a 48-0 win over Wayne. Wayne will be HFL's opponent next Friday. Game of the day, maybe, Peter. Virtus, which came in with a 1-5 record, beats Geneva 12-6, 3 overtimes. So Virtus improves to 2-5. Geneva drops to 3-4. And finally, Batavia 40, Rochester Prep 0, Rochester Prep 1-6, Batavia 5-2. And coming into this week, Peter, Batavia is actually ahead of HFL in the power standings. I think that might shift next weekend, but we never know. And there they are.
And here are the standings as of coming into this week. As you mentioned, Monroe 1, Batavia 2, HFL 3, Wayne 4. Those are the 4 top seeds as they were. Obviously, they might shift around. And still with this game and then the following weekend's games still to be played, things still need to be shuffled out a little bit. You can see, now these are not the points. This is the sectional index on the right side. They use somehow a series of mathematical equations that you and I, Steve, don't quite understand.
Right, football calculus, I call it.
But here's what they currently were coming in the week, and these might change around as the season finishes out.
We do know that the one thing that plays in is the opponent's strength of record, so this is why these change all the way to until the end. And with Wayne having a winning record coming in, and guaranteed to finish with a winning record, they're going to be at least 4-3. That win, if HFL is able to win tonight and next week against Wayne, maybe that'll be enough to catapult the Cougars into the number 2 spot.
So a bit warmer than initially anticipated. Currently about 50 degrees here in western New York. A light drizzle. Hopefully not going to get too wet tonight, but it might play a factor as the evening continues. A wet ball might be a little bit more run than passing.
And I think, Peter, the one thing, we didn't have it in our keys to the game, but Dansville Wayland-Cohocton comes in with a 1-4 record. But I think it might be a tad misleading. They lost one of their best players in almost an Aaron Rodgers type situation on the 4th play of the season. Senior quarterback Nate Gardner was hurt in the opener. He came back last week, and there was a very competitive game with Wayne. So this Dansville Wayland-Cohocton team may not be the same team it was the second, third weeks of the season when it was regrouping from those injuries.
And speaking of DWC, they are about to be announced from the north end zone, as they do have a contingent traveling up from southern Livingston County. So appreciate any DWC fans tuning into the Sentinel for tonight's broadcast.
And Coach Perry, standout player, as we mentioned, Kelmum, Alfred University. The one thing he said about his team is they're going to fight you till the end. They're dogs, he said, and they're going to go hard all the way.
So as we pan to the southern end zone, the HFL Cougars will come out to the delight of this home crowd. Their final home regular season game.
Seems to be a good deal of energy in the crowd tonight. A lot of senior parents and relatives. And as you said, Peter, we might catch a break with the rain. We weren't sure if it was going to be damp throughout the game. Looks like it's let up at this point, and could also help with, as you mentioned, just ball security and things like that.
Certainly warmer than initially anticipated.
Yeah, I think going into tonight, you mentioned the balance. I think for HFL, you just want to come out and establish that you're the team that's been on a 4-game winning streak and that you want to keep that momentum going.
So tonight we will have a recorded rendition of the national anthem performed by the HFL Select Choir, as they will have a pre-recorded rendition played here locally at the stadium.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And with that, we are just about ready to get underway.
See by the dawn's
Captains will be heading out to midfield here just momentarily. Peter, as we see the man in the white hat in the HFL huddle, he's the referee for tonight's game. His name is Bob Lockhart. Other officials for tonight are umpire Ken Torcha, linesman Jeremy Perry, line judge Jay Considine, and the back judge tonight is Matt Burrell. Kind of an extended meeting with the officials and the Cougars right there. Usually you don't see that much of a conversation this late in the season.
Well, we had a little bit of a glitch here during the national anthem, so we apologize for the extended break. But now that that's sorted out, ready for the captains to come out for the Cougars. Number 6, Matt Meacham. Number 1, Ben Cook. Number 11, Andrew Wazenry. Number 52, Austin Kriego. And for DWC, number 8, Nate Gardner. Number 4, Zayden Van Derm Blackman. number 78, Landon Joseph, number 51, Elijah Bender, and number 3, Reed Martin.
Reed Martin is quite a kicker, Peter. He could be somebody we watched tonight. Coach Perry mentioned that he can make his field goals from 45 yards and out all day long. So if there's a situation, maybe we'll get a chance to see that leg.
So DWC will call it in the air. There's the toss. DWC won the toss. They, I believe, elected to receive. Waiting for official confirmation. And they did, in fact, elect to receive. So it'll be the DWC offense on the field first, and the HFL defense we'll see first.
I like that. I like that, taking the ball, especially being a road team. You see so many teams defer, and I think for Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton, coming out and be able to set a tempo and show that you're here to slug it out for 48 minutes could send a message to the Cougars that they need to be sharp tonight.
This opening kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
Matt Meacham has been showing some serious leg strength on some of these kickoffs. I saw the Geneva game that when Chris Caruso stepped in for me, he drilled one all the way to the end zone.
So both teams appear to be ready. HFL thought maybe they had an extra player on the field. Saw Landon Hammond initially jog off, but he stays on. So there's the referee's whistle. We're ready to go. And off we go. High kick towards the south end zone, fielded by DWC. This is number 4, Van Durm Blackman, who will get out towards the 27-yard line. So that'll give us a chance to look at tonight's player to watch on the defense. It's middle linebacker Aaron Fasek being the Bullfinch Fun defensive player to watch for this home HFL Cougar team.
And Coach Russ said this week that Aaron may be one of the most improved players on the defense. He's really trusting his reads and making a lot of plays, and he said his tackling has been phenomenal, especially in this 4-game winning streak that the Cougars are on right now.
So Gardner comes out in the gun. Gardner collects a snap, hands off inside to number
20, Aiden Schaefer on the carry there. Good job by
junior.
The middle of the HFL defense was there. Harrison Hoole to clean it up. Short gain.
Let's take a look at the rest of that defense for HFL. Here's their defensive line. And here's the rest of their defensive secondary. So second down, another handoff. And tripped up there. That's Van Durm Blackman.
And Coach Perry, very high in Van Durm Blackman, said he can play anywhere on the field. In the skill positions, we might see him line up at a receiver spot. And he's also been very, very effective on defense. He's one of their top playmakers. So this is where HFL wants, right? Third and about 6. Talking to Coach Perry, when we saw Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton a couple years ago, they ran that wishbone offense. Couldn't throw much. They're more multiple now, and one of the reasons is to be able to convert plays like this and also catch up when they get behind.
So Gardner under center, collects a snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, lofts it up, and that's going to be intercepted. Alexander Steinhoff picks it off for HFL. Cougars will set up inside the 30-yard line of DWC.
Looked like they were trying to run just like a shallow out pattern. Great job by Austin Krigo getting pressure on the quarterback right out, and maybe Gardner has to throw this a little bit sooner, and Steinhoff does a great job getting in between the receiver and the football, makes the catch. Nice return to the 25. Cougars will start off in plus position.
So the player to watch for this offense for HFL, we'll show it very quickly. It's number 0, Connor Finn for the Cougars, a utility player. And here's Meacham to throw on first down. Has to step up and avoid the sack. He lofts it, and it's intercepted. back-to-back interceptions. This time it's now DWC at midfield. Couple men behind him, and he's going to be tackled at about the 30-yard line. That's number 8, Nate Gardner.
Wow, Gardner threw one, and then he took one away in a fabulous return. Gardner, Meacham, as you mentioned, pressure, tries to step up. Looks like 55 has a hold of his side. He's not able to get as much on the football as he would like to. Big play by Gardner. Down the sideline he goes, and the Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team is going to be about the 26-yard line of the Cougars.
So DWC setting up now with great starting field position at the HFL 27-yard line, 1st and 10.
And about 6 plays into this game, Peter, we've seen what an impact player Nate Gardner can be.
So Gardner will now line up outside as we have it looks to be, nope, that was Gardner from the gun. And it's just a quick pass off to number 3. That's Reed Martin. He was lined up all alone in the backfield, and Dixon had shifted in, and just a quick screen pass.
Yeah, the Dansville Wayland-Cohocton got some linemen out to block. Nice gain on 1st down, sets them up nicely just inside the red zone.
So we'll call it 2nd and about 3. So a decent pickup there on 1st down. Gardner back in the shotgun. Schaefer to his right. Hands off Schaefer. Schaefer immediately met and dropped. Maybe a loss of 1. HFL arguing they have the ball. Officials still talking. Didn't see anything in the replay that was obvious, and appears DWC is retaining possession, so they'll be facing 3rd and about 4. So loss of 1 on that play.
Nice job by the Cougars defense of getting low and stopping that play right there. Not quite sure what happened with the football with the runner being down, but now it's another 3rd down for DWC.
Just a quick quarterback sneak. It's going to be real close. Got to imagine that this is 4 down territory for DWC, although you did mention at the top of the broadcast they do have one of the better kickers in Class B.
It is 4th and short. I would think, though, Peter, given that the distance here to make the 1st down and get the fresh set of downs, that they'll keep the offense on the field. It was 3rd and 6 or 4th and 6. 4th and 6, they might do something differently.
So 4th and 1, we'll see if they go with the sneak again. And it is going to be a sneak. And Gardner's going to have it, and a couple extra as we have a flag on the field. Looks like we're going with pink flags tonight.
Nice touch by the refereeing crew.
Not sure. Looked like maybe in the neighborhood of a face mask. And it is a face mask against HFL, so that'll be a half the distance penalty. A great vision by Gardner. Kind of just took a step back and surveyed the offensive line and found the gap and was able to plunge ahead. More than enough for the 1st down. The penalty sets up 1st and goal for DWC.
Right about the 9-yard line, so the Dansville Wayland-Cohocton cannot get a 1st down without scoring, but a nice impressive drive.
So here's Gardner from the gun, hands off, believe that's Schaefer. Schaefer falls ahead for about 2. Gets to the 7.
HFL doing a good job up front. Kriego got off his block quickly, turned the runner back into the middle, and I believe that
Owen Englert cleaned it up.
Owen Englert, 51, was there to clean up, exactly.
So 2nd and 7 now. DWC knocking on the door following the Matt Meacham interception. Here's the snap, design quarterback run. Gardner going to be dropped for a loss.
Cooper Levine. So the line for HFL has been winning some of these plays. Nice job by Levine, came from the outside, able to track down Gardner, stopping for a loss.
So for the most part, DWC's been moving the ball on the ground. We'll see in a 3rd and 8 situation if they put it in the air. They did have an interception earlier, but they also had a completion on this drive.
Yep, and they are knocking on the door here.
So Gardner will come out from the shotgun. No running backs on his left or right. 4 receiver set. Gardner collects the high snap, and he steps up to his right. He's going to probably try and run, and he does, and he's going to be short about 3 or 4 yards from the goal line. So 4th down now for DWC.
Good job by the backfield, the HFL defense, reading the run, coming up and making the tackle, stopping him about halfway toward the end zone, so it's 4th and 4.
Are they bringing the – looks like they're
I
bringing
thought I
the
saw
special team unit.
Yeah, the kicking tee, I thought they threw it out, so it's going to be Roger.
Believe this is number 3, Reed Martin, their kicker.
Reed Martin, right.
From the right hash. Snap, hold, kick up. And they're saying, yes, it is in fact good. So it is Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton, who strikes first here at HFL. Tough angle there from the right hash.
Left-footed kicker, too. But we saw that leg strength. Distance was never the question. We just wanted to make sure that it went through the uprights, and it did for a 21-yard field goal.
So following the Matt Meacham interception, DWC puts up 3 on the board.
But a good job by the Cougars defense, too, of keeping DWC out of the end zone. That drive started inside the Cougar 30. They allowed 1 first down, but got tight inside the 10 and forced the field goal.
Yeah, 3rd home game this year where HFL starts the game by trailing. We'll have a kickoff here brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
We didn't talk about this, but sometimes you wonder about the emotions on a senior night when you have, I believe there's 14 seniors on the HFL team, come out knowing it's their last regular season game. There's a desire to come out and perform pretty well, and sometimes you just need to get into the flow of the game, catch your breath, and let your natural instincts take over.
And on that Meacham interception, it looked like, he was wrapped up. It might have been smarter to just throw the ball away or just take the sack, live to see another play. Forces the pass that's intercepted by Gardner. As we have a deep kick that's fielded inside the 5-yard line by the Cougars. That's number 9, Keaton Yates. He'll get out towards the 24-yard line. But a nice boot there by Reed Martin on the kickoff.
Yeah, that leg strength definitely on display, and could be a weapon for DWC as we move forward.
So we'll take a look at the rest of these starters for that HFL offense. Here's the offensive line and the specialty players. Here's Meacham from the gun, Yates in motion. As we have a whistle, the ball ultimately ended up in Ben Cook's hand, but we have some
procedure against the Cougars, so that's the second penalty on HFL early on. And Peter, we really didn't get a chance to talk about Connor Finn and why he was our player to watch tonight. And HFL only had 1 play on that first series, but he just does so many things. He's kind of that X factor of a running back. 38 touches, 243 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's good in the receiving game. We see him on the jet sweeps, and we've also seen him get red zone carries. So number 0 could be definitely a factor.
So we'll try that again for HFL, and it's again a handoff to Ben Cook. He'll get back about that 5 yards lost on the pre-snap penalty. Almost the exact same play was called. It looked like the jet sweep motion by Yates goes to Cook, and he picks up 5.
And that's kind of Ben Cook's calling card, right? He gets those tough inside yards, tries to soften up the defense in the middle, and then open things up for his teammates.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. Meacham to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Throws over. Crosses body incomplete. Looking in the direction of Andrew Wazenried. Looks like Van Durham Blackman was in coverage. Actually, no, that's Nate Gardner.
Good break on the ball there by Gardner. He's already got 1 interception, and he made a nice read there. So Andrew Wazenried comes out. It looks like the twin receivers to each side again, same formation for HFL.
Cook to Meacham's right. Here's a snap. Meacham to throw. Throws it up deep towards Wazenreed, who's trying to run to get under it, and it's just a little bit too far for him. So take another look at that one. Wazenreed's been battling a nagging injury. Hasn't been able to go 100% in practice at all. They've been limiting him as much as possible so that he can have fresh legs for their contests, as Meacham will come out now to punt. His heels are going to be at about the 13-yard line of HFL's territory.
And a 3 and out for the Cougars.
Snap. Punt. Angling. And that's going to be fielded by number 4. That's Van Durn Blackman.
A lot of credit there for just making that catch, Peter. That was not an easy punt to field. Van Durn Blackman had to come up on it. He had the gunner coming in on him, closing in, and a lot of times that's where you may see the ball bounce off of the receiver and cause a turnover, but a nice job there just securing the ball and giving Dansville Wayland-Cohocton very good field position to start their third drive of the game.
Third drive starting near midfield. They got to be feeling pretty good as we approach, or we are now just past the halfway point of the first quarter, and so far DWC has been on the field for most of the game with their offense, as Gardner finds himself in the pistol formation. Hands off to Schaefer. Schaefer up past midfield. Eventually brought down at the 49-yard line in HFL territory.
I think that was actually Charles Henshin, 34 on the carry there, Peter. And a nice gain, too, as they change it up on offense a little bit for DWC.
2nd and 6 now. And it is Henshin who's in at tailback for DWC. Snap, quarterback draw play. Gardner out towards the far side. Inside the 40-yard line, and he's tackled at about the 35, so that's a first down for DWC.
And Coach Perry just really could not say enough about Gardner coming into this game. He called him an amazing man who's super intelligent, a great athlete, and a great leader. And we can see DWC rallying around him early. He's really been involved both sides of the ball, made positive plays for his team.
And in the 4 games without Gardner, they put up a total of 6 points. Last week, they lost a 1-score game. They put up 21 on Wayne. And you can just tell that this is a team that's much better than their 1-4 record suggests, as they are now driving inside HFL territory. Gardner from the gun. Handoff. It's Henshin again.
Yeah, that's a great recovery there, because the mesh point didn't look like it was perfect there when he got him the ball, but he was able to secure it and keep driving forward for about a 3-yard gain. So 2nd and 7, positive play keeps it moving.
And the heavy run attack just kind of wears down that HFL defense, keeps it, more importantly, the high-powered HFL offense off the field.
Keeps HFL off the field. And having Gardner as that extra dimension, too, gives you another back you have to defend. And with his ability to throw the ball, he really is a dual threat.
So Gardner now under center. Bunch receivers to the far side. Motions in number 10. Gardner, handoff. And this is going to be another first down. Van Durn Blackman on the handoff.
Nice play design here, a little bit of a reverse. Van Durn Blackman fake to the fullback, give it to him coming around, got a couple of blockers in front, able to elude the first tackle and run for the first down.
We had an official timeout was called. It looks like Connor Finn was told to come off for a play. Not sure if he was on the ground with an injury. He's getting no attention really on the sideline, or if his helmet came off or what it was, but officials sent him off.
Does seem to be kind of leaning over, maybe favoring something in his midsection, but I don't think it looks like he wants to get back in the game.
So here's Gardner, hands off to Dixon. Dixon up ahead for about 5 or 6 yards.
That looks a lot like the play that they just ran to Van Durn Blackman just from the other side, that little counter coming there. And they've had success, so I think it's a case where the coaching staff for DWC is saying, let's run this till you stop it. And we mentioned Darren Knapp and Paul Keeley are kind of splitting the duties with Coach Perry away. Paul Keeley was a quarterback at Caledonia Mumford with Coach with Coach Perry. They won the 2003 state championship. Also played together at Alfred University. Good friends, and Coach Keeley kind of got his hand on the offense today.
2nd and 6 for DWC. 4 receiver set. Gardner from the gun. He's going to throw it, and that one's a little low. Intended on the far sideline. Not sure if it was tipped at the line.
No, I think he just didn't have the great angle on that one. Kind of just sent it a little bit short into the turf.
Stops the clock and brings up 3rd and 6 now for DWC.
That's a big play for the HFL defense because Dansville Wayland-Cohocton has been getting little pieces here and there, having a lot of positive plays, stacking those positive plays. Just to hold them in neutral makes this 3rd down a little bit more difficult.
So 3rd and 6. Gardner collects the snap, looks to throw. Going to be a completion. Still on his feet, knocked out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. That's number 4, Van Durn Blackman.
And I do think he got the 1st down. The stick's at the 13. He is in between the 2 defenders, able to drive his legs forward towards the sideline, pushes out about the 10.5. So it's going to be 1st down for Dansville Wayland-Cohocton, and I believe that they can get a 1st down inside of the 1-yard line. Yep, 1st and 10 on the 11. Spot was not as generous as I was. It's closer to the 11.
So this is the 2nd red zone possession for DWC. The first time they had to settle for a field goal. They're going to try and get more than 3 this go around. As we approach the 1-minute mark, we have a sweep to the far side. This is Van Durn Blackman, and he's going to be tackled by a host of HFL players at about the line of scrimmage.
Very good job by HFL railing to the football right there. Good push up front. And then right there is 51. That's
Owen Englert.
Owen Englert there to finish the play. And as we're inside of a minute here, Peter, 40 seconds in the 1st quarter, HFL, there's a high probability that offense only runs 4 plays this quarter. And if you could have told DWC that was going to be the script coming out, that they would have signed up for that in a heartbeat.
So no gain on 1st down. We'll bring up 2nd and 10. 20 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Gardner from the gun. Collects a snap. Going to throw. Drives one over the middle of the field. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be about a couple feet short of the line to gain. So it'll be 3rd and inches, we'll call it.
Yeah, 3 receivers up to the top. Looks off Van Brody Blackman at the top and gets it inside to Reed Martin. And they're marking him short by about a yard, Peter. So we'll come back with a 3rd and short inside the 5.
That's the end of the 1st half, so we'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue, local, uncompromised, quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon with a wide-ranging menu, including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. Bullfinch Fund, fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left to an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And with that, we are ready to go. First play of the 2nd half. Going to be a quarterback keep. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. Believe they're going to say 4th down, so it's going to be 4th and short. We'll take one more look at that. Gardner just from the gun, collects it. Not going to get there.
Play developed a little bit slower maybe than Dansville Wayland-Cohocton wanted to. Allowed the HFL defense to get penetration. Actually knocked him back a yard. Now it's going to be 4th and 2 from the 3.
So we do have one last ad read from the end of the first quarter. We have the Meehan Architecture Sports update. Cheerleading competing at Penfield earlier this afternoon. Senior night tonight. Not sure how they ended up finishing. But here's 4th and about 1 or 2 for DWC. Gardner under center. 2 men in motion, and that's going to be a penalty, a legal procedure.
They got the timeout first, I think. Did they?
Nope, they're gonna be able to beat it with a timeout, like you said, Steve. So they'll talk it over here. This timeout brought to you by Main Street Cafe. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe, with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu, including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
And just a smart and fortunate time out there, Peter, because it would have gone from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7 with the 2 men in motion. So a great call by the Dansville Wayland-Cohocton sideline, because I really think you want to get the touchdown here. You've got the 3-point lead. Getting to 6 is fine, but getting that 2-score advantage is really what you're looking to do.
You think we see some more pre-snap motion, maybe a jet sweep or a pass play?
Yeah, I was wondering if they were just going to push forward with Gardner and maybe just dangle some eye candy there. But I would maybe like to see Van Derm Blackman involved in this. He's been a huge playmaker for them.
Almost catches the HFL defensive line offsides. We have a pass that's going to be intercepted, and that's Connor Finn jumping the route. So HFL with a huge play on 4th and goal. Let's take another look at that.
And the Cougars did a good job just to stay onside. Levine almost jumped. And then you called it, Peter, jumped the route. Finn, maybe it's so hard not to come out of the end zone there. What maybe would have benefited by taking an immediate knee, but the Cougars got the stop and they got the ball, and remains 3-0.
So with 11 to go in the second quarter, HFL generates its second turnover, another interception by Gardner. Meacham now has to operate, though, inside HFL's own end zone, as he'll collect the snap and hand off to Finn, who's going to be met almost immediately. Believe that was Schaefer on the stop for DWC.
Yeah, and just a really good job of Schaefer splitting the blocks there and getting in, because it looked like HFL had something going there. They had a guard pulling. They had Hool there, and Hool's been doing a great job as the lead blocker. It looked like there was maybe initially more there for Finn than what the Cougars were able to get.
So they give him about a yard there on that first down carry. 2 running backs in the backfield for the HFL. Meacham from the shotgun. Going to throw it. Looking to his right. Gets it over to Wazenreed, and that's going to be about a yard short, so it'll bring up 3rd and 1 for this HFL offense.
Wanzen-Reed and Meacham have been friends for so long. They've run that play for so long that taking that slant, taking that 6 yards, that's easy money for them. It gives them a great chance to go with 3rd and short here. And I think for HFL, it's just important to get the conversion to keep the defense off the field a little bit.
3rd and 1, hand off to Finn. Finn's got it and more. Pickup of about 4. First down for this HFL offense, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. HFMP is proud to be celebrating 40 years of commitment to nourishing HFL athletes and their families.
Yeah, that's only the 7th play from scrimmage that the Cougars have run in the first 14 plays of this game. So just making the clock move and keeping the defense off the field, big break there for HFL. Good execution by the offense.
So after the first down conversion, HFL comes back out in that 2 running back set, some pre-snap motion. going to be a jet sweep handoff to Drew Angelo, who's going to be met in the backfield. Believe that'll go for a loss of 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen the jet sweep in Angelo in this position, but we know that the coaching staff likes his athleticism, and actually good job there setting the block. HFL may have had something more there, but the DWC defender did a good job eluding that blocker and making the play in the backfield.
And Angelo was the one who initiated contact there.
Yeah, there's a great story. Hopefully a little later on we'll be able to share more of it.
So 2nd and 11, Meacham throws. Short play there. That's to number 2, Landon Hammond. So he'll pick up about 4 yards there for the Cougars, making a more manageable 3rd down.
Yeah, with Angelo and Perryman, Aaron Fasek came up to Coach John Russ after the Batavia game and said those 2 guys want to play. And Coach Russ said, I don't believe you. Have them reach out to me. And they did. They worked it out. They were eligible last week for the first time. Angelo actually caught a touchdown in his first game, and now he's getting some important reps here.
So 3rd and 6. We'll see if DWC can generate a stop. Here's a snap. Meacham. And that's incomplete, looking in the direction of Ben Cook.
That looked like a missed opportunity there for the Cougars. If Cook's able to come in, this whole side of the field is empty. Gardner's got the only angle on him to try and stop the first down. So that's kind of, you feel like that's maybe one that the Cougars want to have back.
So another big first half stop generated by the DWC defense results in a punt formation for HFL.
Yeah, they've been in position. They've made plays.
Here's the punt, end over end, and it's going to be muffed, but eventually picked up by number 4. And he's got just the punter to beat, and he's going to ultimately be caught from behind. Nice job by Meacham with the contain, able to slow him down enough to be caught from behind. Take another look. This is Van Durm Blackman on the return.
Yeah, the whole timing was off with the bobble. 4 or 5 HFL defenders overran the play. Then Van Durm Blackman's kind of weaving his way through, and we've seen Matt Meacham play safety maybe once or twice in the 3 years we've seen him play varsity football, but right there, that was a big tackle that he just made.
Just enough to slow him down. So DWC, another offensive possession with great starting field position, this time at the HFL 30. Here's Gardner to throw, lofts it up towards the end zone, and that one's out of bounds. Looking for Reed Martin there.
Yeah, Reed Martin's been involved in quite a bit of the action, and I like the approach there. You've got the ball first down in plus territory. You just had a big punt return, try to build off that momentum, just missed the connection.
Yeah, the aggressive shot there on 1st and 10.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you feel that Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton probably should be ahead by more than just 3 points at this point in time. And you know that if you continue to give HFL opportunities, eventually they're going to figure it out. So trying to take advantage when you can is a sound strategy.
And here's the handoff. That's number 34, Charles Henshin for DWC. He's going to fall ahead for about a yard. So it'll be 3rd and long.
At the 28. So if there's an incomplete pass here, that will be the interesting thing to see how much they trust Reed Martin's leg. If it's 4th and 8, do you let him try that 45-yard field goal? Think HFL turns up the pressure here a little bit?
So Gardner talking to Van Durm Blackman right before the snap there. He'll line up in the shotgun. Gardner to throw. Steps up, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's a sack by number 5, Cooper Levine, making a big play for HFL.
Big timely play because they were right on the cusp of field goal range. He initially got pushed outside, goes inside of his blocker, comes up that rush lane, and finishes off Gardner. Super play by Cooper Levine.
That might have been just a breakdown on the offensive line. There was 2 guys initially engaged with him. They both dropped off to get somebody else, and no one stayed with Levine, and he had a free shot at the quarterback. And I think this is going to be outside the range of Martin.
Yeah, we see Martin going out to the top of the screen as the receiver. So it's 4th and 15 and aggressive. I like it, though, because try and get that first down and keep the ball in Cougar territory where you've been all night if you're DWC.
And some more pre-snap communication between Martin and his wide receivers. He throws it, and he's got a man, but he's going to be just short. It depends on the spot. He was tackled at the 20, and he's got to be real close to the line of gain, waiting for the officials
I think he's
to place the ball.
I think he's there.
It's hard to tell with the angles from our press box that we are in.
They just
And they're
going
going
to.
I think they're bringing the. Are they motioning to bring the?
No,
but I thought they were going to maybe make a measurement, but they're able to make the call on the field. So first down, DWC. Another big play for them in this first half.
Yeah, that was Reese Dixon that I believe caught that number 5. And we haven't called his name tonight, but 4th and 17, and you get 17 and a half yards. That's coming through for your team.
Not sure if he was the one that the quarterback Gardner was talking to before the snap, if he had seen something, as we've got another timeout here by DWC. This timeout brought to you by Main Street Cafe. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
You wonder if some of these pre-snap conversations are the result of Gardner being out and missing those games. They haven't had the 6 games that the other teams have. Really, this is game 2. And, a lot of times coaches will tell you at the beginning of the year, we make our biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. Maybe we're seeing Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton make that jump from week 5 to week 6 just because it's week 2 for Nate Gardner.
I think that, like we were talking about on that last drive, they got to try and put together points on these drives. They had the back-breaking interception on 4th and 2.
Yep.
They've had 2 goal-to-goal situations, and they've only put up 3 points so far. But that critical 4th and 17 conversion, as a DWC fan, you got to hope it yields points here in the second half of the second quarter.
And you're hoping that it's 6 instead of 3.
So here's Gardner from the gun. Martin in motion. Pass play. Gardner going to be dropped in the backfield. Ball's on the ground, but it's going to be recovered by DWC. Almost a disastrous play, but Johnny on the spot, Elijah Bender.
Yeah, we weren't thinking the Bender effect would be recovering a fumble on offense, but great pressure again. There's Harrison Houle getting there first, and then there's 3 HFL defenders. Ben Cook's there, fumbles out, Aaron Fasik, and Bender just very, very fortunate to come up with that. That could have been the 3rd turnover of the half for DWC. And that's one way to keep yourself off the scoreboard is committing turnovers.
So DWC finds itself in a tough 2nd and 22 situation. Don't have to get it all on this one play.
No, maybe it's time, like a screen, a short pass, try and get half of it and get into field goal range.
Gardner to throw. Got a man. That's number 5. That's Reese Dixon, who's going to get maybe 13 yards there.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need, though. Dixon does a good job. The ball is a little bit late. He adjusts to it, makes the catch. Now it's 3rd and about 7 or 8, and they're, I would say, within field goal range.
And you hear all the time, just get half of it back. Don't have to get it all, just get half of it back. And they did just that. They bring up 3rd and 11, under 4 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and really, I think the amazing thing is that the Cougars' offensive has run under 10 offensive plays as we're under 4 minutes in the first half.
So Gardner from the gun, empty set. Collects his snap, looks to throw. Under a heavy duress, and he goes down.
Englert at the bottom of that pile. That's the 3rd time we've called his name and making a play behind the line of scrimmage. Owen Englert, the junior, 5'7", 185, doing a great job with that defensive line push.
So just when we thought DWC was working its way back, they have a setback there on 3rd and 11, and it brings up 4th and 19. And it looks like we might have another timeout.
This one by the Cougars, I think, Peter.
Well, in any case, it's a timeout brought to you by Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the Hamlet of Mendon. With a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies, there's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
And big fourth down here coming up for the Cougars. You know, if you get this stop, and the message from Coach Russ is got to be make this one play, get us the football, and let's run our 3-minute offense, go down and score right behind the half, put everything in the rearview mirror, get the ball, come out, and start rolling. We've already seen DWC convert 4th and 17, so they've got that big play capability. I mean, this, when we get to the end of the game, this might be a play we're talking about as one of the turning points.
And on their deep plays, they've been attacking those inside routes between the hashes. So we'll see what sort of defense HFL comes out in. You know, do they show
I think they
a
come
cover
with
two
pressure.
look or
the pressure has been very good. And I think you want to make Gardner get off his mark and just kind of throw it up there.
So here's Gardner, 4th and 19. Under pressure. He's going to take off with his legs, but he's not going to get close to the line to gain. He's going to get inside the 20, maybe to the 17, but he had to get the 8-yard line.
Yeah, the Cougars came with 4. Gardner was able to elude the pressure and get downfield, but then defense did a good job converging on him. That's exactly what you want. Now, 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go, and HFL wants to put together his first sustained drive of the game, and if they're able to be successful, they could somehow have the lead at halftime.
So with 3:14, 2 timeouts, we'll see what sort of drive the Cougars can pull together, as on first down it is a stop in the backfield by Caleb Knapp for DWC. That was a handoff to Cook.
Yeah, big read there, and I think maybe it was Sawyer Lorman, number 90, in there too. That there was no fooling DWC there.
He'll lose 4. It's going to bring up 2nd and 14.
So we've seen Wanzen Reed and
clock running as well.
Meacham connect once.
Meacham the throw, screen play to Cook. Cook towards the near sideline, past the 25 and the 30, up past the 40 to midfield, and he's finally brought down by Charles Henshin, and a huge first down for Dansville, or excuse me, for HFL, and that first down brought to you by HFMP. The butchers at HFMP will cut your meat to order. It doesn't get any better than that.
And an old standby for HFL, the screen pass to Ben Cook. We saw an opportunity that was missed earlier in the second half, and it may be Garrett Parker just maybe filed that one away when they needed yardage. Cook got a great block by one of the receivers to get him an extra 15 or 20 yards. Now the Cougars are in business.
So the clock temporarily stopped to move the chains. Here's Meacham to throw, has to step up, going to run with it out towards his left inside the 30, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. That's another HFL first down brought to you by HFMP. At HFMP, 7 days of savings means every day you save. Check out their website or circular for details of their daily deep discounted item.
Caleb Knapp had a lot of pressure for DWC there, and you kind of see how quickly Matt Meacham is able to analyze the defense. He saw the pressure coming from Knapp, was able to step up, and took advantage for about a 17-yard run.
So the Cougars already to the 25-yard line with 2:04 to go in the half. Here's Meacham to throw. Screen play to the far side to Keaton Yates. Makes the first 2 men miss inside the 20. Going to be about 3 yards short, but the Cougars will be in the red zone. Clock is rolling.
And I think the important thing here for the Cougars is starting to establish a rhythm, Peter. They didn't have a rhythm for the first 20 minutes of this game. Now they've had 2 or 3 successful plays in a row on offense, a couple of chunk plays. Now they're back where they're more comfortable. 15-yard line, minute and a half to go, second down. This is where the fun begins.
2nd and 3, 90 seconds left in the first half. Meacham shifts Angelo a little bit further to his left, and it's going to be a pass play to Angelo. He's got 2 DWC defenders waiting for him. He's going to be able to fall ahead for maybe – is he going to be close to the –
I think he's going to be marked short, Peter. He's at the 16-yard line.
Had to get about.
I think he's got to get to the 15. So it's 3rd and 1 with a minute to go.
So 3rd and 1 for HFL, under a minute. So here's Meacham from the gun. And it looks like the play kind of broke down. Meacham was looking to hand off to Cook, but he'll convert the first down. So another HFL first down. This one, again, brought to you by HFMP. Treat yourself today and every Saturday with a slow-roasted prime rib dinner with all the fixins from HFMP for only $18.99 each. So 1st and 10 for HFL. Inside the 15-yard line, Meacham to throw. And he throws, and it's incomplete in the direction of Drew Angelo. It'll stop the clock with 27 seconds left to go. We'll update our scoreboard there on screen to reflect the game clock here at HFL.
And Angelo getting some key reps here. I mean, for somebody that's only been active for 2 games, that was a lot of trust there that was put in him. And Cougars got the clock stopped, 2nd and 10 at the 27. They've been here a lot of times before. Triple receivers to the top of the screen and a timeout.
Cougars have a kicker of their own in Avery Reynoldson. As you mentioned, a timeout. This one's going to be called by DWC. That's their 3rd and final timeout of the first half, which is brought to you by Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe, with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
So timeout DWC, I think that is what we might call a catch-your-breath timeout, Peter. And I think the one thing coming out of that huddle, let's see who's on Andrew Wanzenreed, because that's the matchup that everybody here knows that he's Matt Meacham's favorite target. Who's the defender that DWC is going to entrust with covering him? And if Wanzenreed's covered, what are the second options? Because the Cougars love to run those 4 verticals, the kind of the Vegas here if they come out, and the twins. Looks like they're going trips to the top. Steinhoff's to the bottom, Wanzenreed's to the top. Is he gonna run a fade here and hope that they go with the 2 inside receivers? A lot going on.
So here's Meacham, and we've got a flag, going to be, I believe, defensive encroachment, so that'll shift the ball a little bit closer to the goal line for HFL.
I've got that as the first penalty on DWC tonight. They've been very disciplined.
So not a whole lot of yards there to give up by DWC, so not a terrible penalty. Doesn't give them a new set of downs.
I mean, the Cougars, they take a first down, but they're looking for the end zone here.
Here's Meacham. Gonna run, quarterback design run. Meacham shifts inside, reaches for the end zone, and he's in. Meacham finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. Cougars on the board. They take the lead 6-3. Just a nice run there by Meacham with Ben Cook as the lead blocker.
And I believe HFL took over with 3 minutes, 21 seconds left on their own 18-yard line. So they go 82 yards in 3 minutes to take the lead.
So here's Avery Reynoldson for the point-after attempt. High snap.
Got a fall on that.
And Meacham's able to just recover that. So HFL will be leading by only 3 with 21 to go. We'll take another look at that touchdown play for HFL.
And I think we're seeing just the competitive nature of Matt Meacham here. The things haven't been working. HFL hadn't really had a drive at all until right then and there. Then you're 2nd and 6, time to score, runs the quarterback draw, and makes a nice cutback at the 5, and then just kind of willed his way into the end zone.
Now, after that play, it looked like number 54, Patrick Adair, who's the center for HFL, was on the turf there, able to get up off the field under his own power, trying to find him on the sideline, making sure he's okay. He just got a high five from a teammate, so he should be good to go. This kickoff, though, brought to you by Alexander Enterprises, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. So kickoff after the HFL touchdown. It's a deep one. That's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. So we have a little competition between the kickers.
Yeah, a lot of strong legs tonight. So DWC, 21 seconds, Peter. I would expect them maybe to take a knee here. 6-3 game, been a battle throughout. And I think it's going to be a super exciting second half here.
And DWC elected to receive the ball at the beginning. They won the toss, so HFL will be receiving to start the second half.
But I think that was a great strategy for TWC. Their first drive didn't pan out, but they were able to have the ball for the majority of the first half. In a 24-minute first half, I bet you that their time of possession is in probably the 16-minute range.
But only 3 points up on the board in their 3 red zone possessions. So Gardner from under center. It'll be a handoff. That, I believe, was Reed Martin, who was dropped immediately. No, that was number 34, Charles Henshin. And that should do it for the first half. So Cougars able to strike there in the closing minute of the first half to take a 6-3 lead over the visiting Dansville Wayland-Cohocton football team. We'll take a quick commercial timeout. We'll go through the first half highlights and what to expect in the second when we come back.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue, local, uncompromised, quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. For nearly 30 years, Alexander Enterprises has been one of Rochester's most trusted contractors. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprises a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon with a wide-ranging menu, including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. Bullfinch Fund, fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here. Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls volleyball lost at Pittsford Sutherland last night. They host Brockport this coming Tuesday. Girls soccer drew Greece Arcadia's 0-0 last night. The girls finished the regular season 4-10-2. Meanwhile, boys soccer earned a 4-2 victory over Early College last night. The boys finished the regular season 12-3-1 and are currently ranked 14th in New York State Class A soccer. Four Corners Eye Care and Optical, now celebrating 30 years. Four Corners Eye Care and Optical provides full scope vision and eye care need, as well as quality optical services in the convenient location of the Four Corners of Honeoye Falls. Dr. Kissick and his staff are proud to call HFL home all these years. Hundreds of local residents, including myself, are proud to call Dr. Kissick their optometrist. Give Dr. Kissick at Four Corners Eye Care and Optical a call at 624-2122. And last but not least, the Sentinel. The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, your local community newspaper since 1989. You can follow along on their various social media channels. You can visit their website for local community news, and we thank them for giving Steve and I the opportunity to call all these HFL football home games. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll come back with some highlights and first half stats, as well as a breakdown for what to expect in the second half of play. Thanks so much for tuning in to Section 5 Class B football live on the Sentinel. With about 5 minutes here left in the halftime intermission, we'll take a look at some of the first half highlights here. Score 6-3 between HFL and DWC. And right off the bat, we had a highlight.
First drive of the game, Alexander Steinhoff for HFL came up with an interception.
Hold on, we have some
we'll have Oliver roll
technical
that back
difficulties here.
But Peter, are you a little surprised? 6-3? I thought that maybe we'd see more points early.
Maybe if we had more rain, I wouldn't be surprised. But the rain's tapered off. It's pretty dry. And it's just been DWC defense making a couple of big plays here. As one sec while.
Yeah, DWC's defense really set the tone early, keeping the HFL offense off the field. The first play from here we go. The first series, Alex Steinhoff, the linebacker for HFL, makes a nice read on the pass by Nate Gardner, is able to intercept it. And the Cougars looked like they were set up, having stopped DWC on its first drive. And here we see Steinhoff with the read, goes with the receiver, hands up, makes the play, giving the Cougars first down at the DWC 27. But on HFL's first play from scrimmage, Matt Meacham feels pressure in the pocket, steps up, and Nate Gardner, who just threw the interception for DWC, is able to step in front, make the interception, and a long return down the sidelines before he's pushed out inside the 30-yard line.
And that return set up a field goal to give DWC an early 3-0 lead. And then later on another red zone possession, 4th and 2 inside the 5. Cougars almost go offside. Gardner looking to his left, and it's intercepted by Connor Finn. So another DWC drive that yielded no points. And then when they were trying to string together another nice drive, they had a key conversion on 4th and 17.
Reese Dixon with the catch from Nate Gardner, and it was close. We waited for the measurement, and then huge sack here, another 4th down play. Owen Englert gets the sack for the HFL defense, and here we have the only touchdown of the game. 21 seconds left in the first half. Matt Meacham with the 11-yard run. Cougars take a 6-3 lead into the break. And we were talking, Peter, you thought, the weather, 6-3. I mean, if you're DWC, the only thing you're not happy with is the 3 points. You've done everything else the way you wanted them to, but you'd really like, ideally, to maybe see yourself with 10 or 17.
You see it all the time at all levels of football. When you have a team that's a clear underdog that starts to just come out of a game quick, and they're able to generate some key turnovers, get some significant red zone opportunities. If they don't come away with points, especially 6s and not 3s, then when the second half rolls around and the team that's maybe expected to win, if you don't build up that lead, then it's hard to defend, when you only have 3 and HFL just needed one good drive to take the lead.
And that drive was 3 minutes, 21 seconds left, 82 yards, and DWC stuffed the first play, so 2nd and 14, and then a huge screen pass to Ben Cook, gained about 40 yards, gave the Cougars that momentum, and we really saw, I think, Matt Meacham's will to win come to the forefront because he ran the ball a couple of times. That's not something that we always see, and carried the ball into the end zone on a nice, tough run, maybe channeled that inner Josh Allen for that last 5 yards, got to the 5-yard line and figured out a way to bring it home.
Yeah, like you mentioning, Meacham willed the team into the end zone there in the last minute to give HFL the 6-3 lead. Now, I talk about the frustrations for DWC without converting those red zone opportunities, but at the same time, to be down 3 at halftime, they find themselves second consecutive week in a close battle with one of the good teams in Class B. After the way the season has gone this far, they got to be feeling, pretty good about how this has gone so far.
100%. You come in with a 1-4 record, and you mentioned when Nate Gardner was out, they had scored a grand total of 6 points in those games. And they've only got 3 points tonight, but the defense has certainly done its job keeping HFL off the scoreboard. So now we fast forward to the second half. The Cougars are going to get the ball back. This drive is pivotal, right? If HFL is able to take the ball down and score, the complexion of the game changes again. DWC makes a stop or somehow is able to get a turnover and get set up in HFL territory, then we know it's going to be a fight to the finish. So our conversation with John Russ, too, he really took a few minutes to talk to us about how much he enjoys the chess match. And some of these recent games have not been that close. So as much as he wishes maybe that his team had a bigger lead or had a sharper first half, from a standpoint of testing his team and getting it playoff ready, coming out and playing a strong second half, this is a game that the Cougars are going to learn from.
So they've added about 2 minutes to the clock here as both teams back out on the field, warming up. Well, DWC stretching and HFL just standing on the sideline waiting to receive the second half kickoff.
And we have not, we've not seen a game like this all season. The Batavia game, there were big plays early, and HFL had to come back. Monroe game, Monroe had the big lead at halftime. The Geneva game, HFL had the big lead at halftime. So we're looking at mid-October, sectional start in 2 weeks. So this has got the feel maybe more of a playoff game. And the old phrase, right, if the playoffs started today, well, the Cougars are number 3 seed. Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton's the number 6. There's a chance that, these two teams could play again in a couple weeks.
So like we were saying, the story of the first half was HFL offense barely running any plays. We'll have to see. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast the normal offensive coordinator for HFL, Dan Hoyt, away at a wedding this weekend. So it's the JV coach, Garrett Parker, who becomes the signal caller for the Cougars. We'll see what maybe he has scripted together here to start the second half. It'll be interesting. We haven't really seen HFL running any of the gadget plays that we're accustomed to seeing Coach Hoyt call. We'll see if Parker brings that out, or maybe his style of play is a little bit different, a little bit more traditional attack.
Yeah, and we did see HFL with the twin receivers in many of the formations, but when they got in the red zone, they went with the triple to the top of the field and then had the numbers advantage. That's where Matt Meacham ran it back to the near side of the field. So we're there. And your point, Peter, HFL only had 4 first downs in the first half. 3 came on the touchdown drive at the end.
Yeah, you got to wonder if maybe that played into the fact that we didn't see any wildcat formation, was just simply because, hey, they didn't have the snaps.
No, the first drive was 1 play. Their second drive was 3 and out, and then they had a 5-play drive. So really they had 8 plays until the last drive.
So this opening kickoff of the second half brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. So here we go. Reed Martin with the ball teed up at the DWC 40-yard line, ready to get the second half underway here at HFL. And there's the kick. End over end, going to be fielded by HFL's number 9. That's Keaton Yates, who's going to be met and tackled at the 30-yard line.
Nice return there by Yates. Was able to catch the ball, secure it, find himself a lane to the 30-yard line. Blocking was pretty good. And nice tackle, too, by the DWC defense. And that's number 4, Zayden Van Durm Blackman. We saw him make a lot of big plays in the first half. Makes a play there to start the second.
So the Cougar offense on the field first for the second half. Matt Meacham from the gun. 4 receivers set. Cook to his left. Handoff goes to Cook. And Cook is going to be tackled by number 51, Elijah Bender, after about a pickup of 1.
So looks it pulled both the guard and the tackle there. Bender, who we mentioned, has 10 sacks in the last 5 games. Had a relatively quiet first half. The biggest play he did was recover a fumble on the offensive side, but he was there to make the stop. And we mentioned the first half, kind of the matchup with Andrew Wanzenreed. It looks like Reese Dixon, number 5, is the one who's kind of charged with shadowing him tonight.
And we have a neutral zone infraction against DWC, so that'll give the Cougars free 5 yards there. Maybe the Cougars noticed something in the first half, decide to go on 2 there, and you saw half the DWC defensive line jump.
Yep, cuts it in half, 2nd and 5. Good play callers down here.
So Meacham motioning Cook to his right, 4-receiver set. Landon Hammond shifts inside. Going to be a handoff to Cook. Cook up past the 40. He's at midfield. Tackled inside the 40-yard line of DWC. That's an HFL first down brought to you by HFMP, Honeoye Falls Marketplace. True blue local for 40 years.
See the motion with Hammond. Good job blocking on that side. Splits the 2 tacklers, and then we see Ben Cook do what Ben Cook does, put his shoulders on and drive forward. And we saw Dixon come off of Wanzenreed there, make the touchdown saving tackle.
So on 1st and 10, Meacham to throw. Works it out to Hammond. Hammond's got it, and he's going to be escorted out of bounds at the 30. And just a little bit more on Ben Cook. He's averaging 7.6 yards a pop when he gets the ball. Getting the dirty yards for HFL as the Cougars able to get a nice pickup there. Bring up 2nd and about 4.
And most of those yards are right in the middle of the field to play into the huddle. And the Cougars just looking to reestablish that offensive rhythm. Twin receivers to each side. Meacham in the shotgun. Drew Angelo in motion, takes the handoff, 20, 15. Down near the 10 where he's wrestled to the ground just short of the first down. Physical tackle there by number 51, Elijah Bender. And Drew Angelo, as we mentioned, this is just his 2nd game of the season. Getting involved more in the offense and a positive play there. Should be 3rd and short. About 3rd and 5. Matt Meacham looks around, checks with the sideline. Looks like he gives a hand signal to the receiver, maybe changing the play. Snap, Meacham with a keeper. He's up towards the 10, tackled at about the 11-yard line. And we will wait for the spot. It looks like it's going to be a first down. That is a first down from the Honeoye Falls Marketplace, correct, Peter? Yep. You want haddock delivered from the Boston Fish Pier every week, making HFMP's Friday Fish Fry with 2 sides and fries all the more delicious. First down, Cougars, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. First and 10, just outside the 10. Meacham in the shotgun. 7:41 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Cougars driving. Ben Cook up the middle, inside the 5, inside the 2. Ben Cook tackled about the 2-yard line. Nice tough run by Cook where he's brought down by number 55 for Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton. That's Caleb Knapp. So 2nd and short inside the 5 for the Cougars. We have timeout for an injury. And we apologize for a couple of technical difficulties. We've been trying to navigate our way through those.
Yeah, we had the internet drop here at the press box, so we should be back live. 7:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cougars facing a 2nd and 2 from the 2-yard line.
And a nice job by HFL Peter overcoming that holding penalty. Sent them back to the 32-yard line. Able to regroup, get the ball inside the 5 here, 2nd and 2. Looking to cash in on their 2nd consecutive drive.
So we're hoping to keep internet here in the HFL press box. It's quite busy here tonight at HFL. This timeout brought to you by Main Street Cafe. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast, sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how you can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials.
And an injured player making his way off the field. Number 78, Brody Burke. We mentioned him one of the seniors in the pregame. He is under his own power, favoring one of his legs. Looks like a leg injury, but we're not going to speculate. Second and goal for the Cougars.
So second and goal. Meacham collects, hands off. This is Cook to the right side, and he's going to dive in to the Meehan Architecture end zone. Cougars now 12-3 with 6:56 to go in the third quarter.
Ben Cook very deserving of that touchdown, Peter. Had some tough carries on that drive, getting the Cougars down near the end zone. Second and 2, you want to give the ball to your tough runner, and the senior was able to keep those legs moving and get the ball home.
So I hope the viewers at home, feed was restored just in time for that touchdown for HFL, as we have a player substituting late onto the field for HFL, number 50, Mitchell Martini.
And I think that's going to be an illegal substitution. That's probably a result of the injury, where player just didn't realize that he needed to be out there, and a little bit of a mix-up in terms of personnel.
Looks like Martini thought he had to be out there, but he didn't have to be out there, and there was 12 men on the field, so that'll move the ball back a couple yards on this point after attempt. And it looks like the Cougars are going to
switch kickers.
So Reynoldson checks out, Meacham checks in. T is at the 15-yard line. So this will be a 25-yard attempt. Kick is up, end over end, waiting for the confirmation, and yes, it's good. So all that for the extra point, 13-3, Cougars leading by 10.
Cougars leading by 10, and a drive that took Peter 5 minutes and 4 seconds as they went 70 yards down the field, capped by a 2-yard touchdown run by Ben Cook. And 2 straight TD drives for the Cougars, up by 9, now 12-3.
Here's another look at that touchdown by Cook. Extra effort, finds the Meehan Architecture end zone.
He bounces off tacklers, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Or do tacklers bounce off him?
6 foot, 200, 7.6 yards per carry coming in tonight.
And
tough guy to bring down.
And this is his second sport. He's going to play college lacrosse, where he's a tough defender, and RIT's won national championships. It's those multi-sport athletes can do a lot of things for you.
This kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
You know, we were talking to Coach Perry in the week, and we kind of went back in time, him being a Calmum graduate and HFL, formerly being in the Livingston County League, and kind of wondered if this one had the feel of an old Livingston County slug-it-out football game, and so far it has.
So here's Meacham's kickoff. It's going to be a short one, and it's going to be initially dropped there by the DWC player, able to cover up, though, is Aiden Schaefer.
27-yard line, DWC will start. So this is a key drive for them, because the Cougars have had the ball twice in a row. They did the old New England Patriots, closed the first half with a touchdown and doubled up with a touchdown to start the second half. Now for a team that controlled the time of possession for most of the first half, there's a little bit more urgency here.
And they were the beneficiary of some good starting field position, but they were able to move the ball still and push it further in HFL territory. We'll see if DWC can continue what they did in the first half, moving the ball, particularly on the ground. So here's Gardner from the gun, going to throw, and it's going to be completed to Reed Martin.
So a nice little 5-yard pass to get things started. And Coach Perry mentioned that they're not just a wishbone team that's going to run all the time. They built some passing into their attack, and 6 or 7 yards to start the drive is a great start.
Keeps the defense honest as well. So 2nd and 3, we'll call it, for DWC.
And Coach Russ being a defensive coach, you wonder what he's got up his sleeve, because when HFL brought the pressure in the first half, they found a lot of success.
2nd and 3, Gardner to throw again, and it's going to be tipped at the line and incomplete.
I think Austin Kriego maybe got a hand on that. He was quick to help the referee call that play. Yep, jumped up, got a deflection there. Ball falls short of the receiver, so now it's 3rd and 4.
I believe tight coverage on that far side by Alex Steinhoff as well. So DWC football team facing 3rd and short They were able to convert a couple key third downs in the first half.
And fourth downs.
We'll see if they can continue that success here. About 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gardner surveys the field before the snap. In the backfield, 4 receiver set. Cougars showing blitz, low snap, quick pass. It's going to be completed to number 3, Reed Martin again for the first down. So just the quick catch results in a new set of downs for DWC.
And you wonder if HFL might get aggressive and jump one of those routes. They've shown it 2 or 3 times. They seem to have had success with it, but, you know, the whole education and through athletics, if somebody does something a couple times, you might see them get more aggressive here maybe with the D-backs and look to snag that turnover.
So the pass results in the first down. 1st and 10. Stop the clock, so we're at 6:03. Looks like we got some pre-snap audible. And here's a snap. Gardner throws it up. Got a man, and it's just in and out of the hands of number 5. That's Reese Dixon. And there was some green grass in front of him, too.
There was. It was a little bit up there. Dixon's got that big frame, 6'4", 190, and just missed a big connection there.
And the short passes, you saw HFL defensively kind of giving that up to DWC, and then they try and go over the top, and it was there, and they just couldn't pull it off.
And we remember hearing in the senior night bios, all the D-backs had one similar thing to say: don't get beat deep. The Cougars almost got beat deep there.
So the incompletion now brings up 2nd and 10. Here's Gardner from the shotgun. Gonna just run. Makes the first man miss, and he'll get very close to the first down marker at about midfield, where he's just tossed out of bounds by Landon Hammond.
Yeah, very positive play, though, for Gardner. Looking to throw right. He sees that it's breaking down early, able to elude the first line of defense, beats the first tackler, and then Hammond and Englert close in and are able to take him out of bounds.
So they're going to call it 3rd and 2 for DWC. They were able to convert the third down earlier on this drive. They're about midfield here.
And barring a negative play here, I think they probably would take 2 cracks at it.
So Gardner from the gun. He's got number 34, Charles Henshin, with him in the backfield. Here's the handoff to Henshin. Henshin to the near sideline, and he's going to lose yards there. Maybe 2 or 3. We'll have to see on the spot.
Connor Finn, Aaron Fasik. I think Henshin is more of a north-south runner. They had him going east-west. And Harrison Houle, Connor Finn, Aaron Fasik said, not this time.
Now, was that the first designed run of that possession? They had been throwing it almost, it seemed like, on every play. And then they strayed away from what was working. And they're going to go for it here, 4th and 5 from their own, call it 46-yard line, 5 to go in the third quarter.
Gutsy call here. I like it.
Looks like they might be just trying to draw him off. No, they do snap it. Gardner lofts one up, and it's going to be caught, a sliding catch by Reese Dixon. So he makes up for the drop earlier with a key 4th down conversion.
Yeah, Dixon lined up inside, ran a nice corner route. Ball just gets there in time. He's able to snag it, slide out of bounds, set the chains for DWC.
So DWC now finding themselves deeper into HFL territory on this drive. Ball at the 37-yard line, under 5 to go in the third quarter. Clock rolling. Gardner from the gun, 4 receiver set. Seems to be their preferred formation. Gardner to throw. And another completion to Dixon yet again.
Yeah, Dixon's having a big game. This is just a little hitch route. Goes down 7-8 yards. Ball's there, comes back and gets it. Positive play.
The one thing, though, I think, I don't know if it's ball placement or just the way that the receivers play. They're giving themselves up as soon as they catch the ball, whether they're sliding. You saw it again there with Dixon. I thought maybe he could catch that one and turn up field. I don't know if they're just hearing footsteps and they just want to make sure they reel in that catch and live to see another play.
Right, not a lot of yards after catch so far.
So the pass on first down results in a gain of 5, 2nd and 10. Pre-snap motion. It's going to be Gardner calling his own number, and he's going to get about to the 30-yard line, so he'll be about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down marker.
Yep, that motion, a little bit of eye candy to try and lure the defense, and Gardner plows straight ahead. Nice 4-yard run.
So it is 3rd and 4 from the 30-yard line. Got to imagine that this is 4-down territory. They went for it on their own side of the 50.
Absolutely, and with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, you get to that point in the game where you start wondering how many possessions are going to be left, especially the way that the Cougars have moved the ball the last 2 times they've had it.
And with the game being a 2-score game, they got to generate points here.
Yep, they need points.
So here's a handoff inside.
Late flag. Referee with a late flag from up top.
Look like potentially on the tackle. Waiting on the call. Officials still talking over. They're asking HFL if they want to accept it. So this one's going to be against DWC.
That can be a hold, too, from the referee right there. And I think that's what it is.
Yes, it is. It is defensive holding, or excuse me, offensive holding. So that'll shift DWC back and make it 3rd and 14.
And throughout the game, though, DWC has shown the ability to make these tougher conversions. A couple 4th and longs. And, I mean, we've mentioned a couple times, try and get 7, 8 yards here, give yourself a chance at a more makeable play on 4th, right?
Just half of it. Get half of it right here. That's all they got to do. Make it 4th and 7. Gardner talking with Charles Henshin before the snap. And we got flags.
I thought the receivers got a quick start there.
And so that's a false start against the offense. Yeah, it looked like they were a bit under duress there to get the play off. Didn't know if the back official was motioning, counting down before a delay of game.
But both receivers to the near side of the field seemed to get a running start before the ball moved.
So back-to-back penalties on DWC brings up now 3rd and 18, we'll call it. So they're going the wrong way here, Steve.
They are, and DWC has been so good. Before these last 2 plays, they had only had 2 penalties all night for 10 yards. Last 2 plays have had 2 penalties for negative 15.
Gardner under center. Motioning in is Vander Blackman. It's going to be a reverse to Dixon. And Dixon going to lose the ball, and it's Aaron Fasek who jumps on it for HFL. So the 3rd and 18 play, we're waiting for a call. Have they?
Austin Krigo, too, is the one that really wrapped up Dixon, and then the ball came out and Fasek pounced on it.
They're not. They never said HFL had possession there.
No. So let's
it's still the offense, the special teams kicking unit is on the field for DWC. We'll take another look here. They're saying maybe forward progress was stopped. He's definitely still up.
Yeah,
when
there
the
could
ball
have been a
comes
whistle
out.
there. There could have. I mean.
So here's the punt. Little rugby style kick, end over end kick, going to be out of bounds. So the Cougars will start with it at their own. Waiting for the mark here.
I'm going to go 23.
25. Close, Steve.
Couple extra steps. Yep. Just not a great angle there from Reed Martin. Strong leg, but sailed out of bounds a little early. Credit to the HFL defense, though. We're benefited from a couple of penalties. Pushed back DWC. Got the stop that they needed. Now with 45 seconds to go in the third quarter, up 2 scores, looking for that drive to possibly throw the knockout punch.
So the Cougars don't need to run more than 1 or 2 plays here to bring us to the fourth quarter. We'll see what they decide to do. Drew Angelo in motion. Meacham to throw, and it's completed. And that is to Steinhoff, I believe, who's going to be brought down on the far sideline by, I think that was number 5, Reese Dixon for DWC.
Yep, Dixon converged on the receiver, wrapped him up, Going to be a short gain of about 3.
So we are approaching 20 seconds here. So the Cougars will likely have to run one more play in the third quarter. So the Cougars come out, 4-receiver set. One last play here maybe for HFL. Landon Hammond, the man in motion. It's a handoff to Cook. Cook straight ahead. Cook's got the far sideline at midfield. Still going inside the 40. And he's tackled at the 30-yard line. So a huge first down for HFL to close out the third quarter. That HFL first down brought to you by HFMP. Start the day off right with IO organic orange juice on sale every Thursday at HFMP. 52-ounce bottle for only $2.99 each.
And I know when they get in the film room on Monday, they're going to love the block that Alexander Steinhoff threw there to send Cook those extra few yards.
So with the end of the third quarter, we'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. They specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give Todd and the folks at Alexander Enterprise a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering menu and how they can help create a unique menu for their next special event. We'll get the rest of the ad reads after this HFL play. First play of the fourth quarter, HFL at the 30-yard line after the huge Ben Cook run to close out the third quarter. Here's a pass play. Meacham over the center, and he's got him. And that's Keaton Yates finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. First play of the fourth quarter.
And Peter, you saw the play fake there to Ben Cook that really held the defense. You had to honor Cook because he's been running the ball down the field. That allowed Yates to get open, and a strike from Matt Meacham. 30-yard touchdown. Cougars up 19-3.
So here's Reynoldson to attempt the point after. Here's the snap, the hold, and low kick. Didn't look like the laces were out on that one, Steve.
Nope.
So score 19-3. We'll take one last look here at the touchdown play.
Really like the play fake, and Matt Meacham sells it. Defense bites, and then Yates is all alone at the 10-yard line. Ball's right in his hands, and he's able to take it in for the score.
So with the remaining between quarter sponsors, tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left in an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls tennis playing in sectionals, team sectionals, individual sectionals. And girls swimming and diving celebrated senior night last Thursday evening. Seniors Catherine, Ella, Ava, and Elizabeth were recognized. So this kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. So DWC back with the football in the fourth quarter here, scored 19-3 with 11:46 to go.
So technically just a two-score game, 16 points, and urgency definitely increases for DWC. We saw them have success with the shorter routes. I think we're going to see them pick up the tempo, try and pick up the pace, and move the ball down the field. For HFL, though, 3 straight touchdown drives by the offense, just great execution, from that drive to end the first half and the first 2 drives of the second half.
So DWC just outside their own 30-yard line. Gardner under center. Pitch play to the backfield. And the ball's out. And they're going to call that a fumble. And it's Connor Finn. And yes, they're going to motion HFL football. So the Cougars generate, I believe that's their 3rd turnover of tonight's contest. And there you can see, ball clearly out and a clear recovery by Connor Finn.
And I think Harrison Houle is the player that forced it. He had a grip on Van Duren Blackman up high, was able to strip the ball out, and Connor Finn, who's made a ton of big plays all season, makes another one. You're right, Peter. That is the 3rd turnover, 2 interceptions and a fumble.
So here's Meacham from the shotgun. Motions Cook to his left. And it's going to be a pass play. Meacham loads it up, looking for Steinhoff. And did he reel that in?
He did. He caught the ball. Flags were flying. Steinhoff with a good adjustment to the ball. HFL is going to be set up inside of the DWC 5.
So, as they say in basketball, and one, as the Cougars will not need to accept the defensive pass interference call. That's a HFL first down, I believe, waiting on the official call, and yes, it is. Defensive pass interference, that'll be declined. HFL first down brought to you by HFMP. HFMP bakes sub rolls from scratch each and every day so that the bite of an HFMP submarine sandwich is bursting with flavor. So the Cougars rush to the line after the big pickup through the air. First and goal for the Cougars. Here comes Keaton Yates in motion. Snap, handoff, Cook, and he's going to be dropped, it looks like, in the backfield. The snap was a little bit outside if you see on the replay. Good recovery there by Meacham to collect it. And the mesh point just wasn't clean, but
and a
nice
host of defenders, too. There were three defenders in the backfield. Going back to that catch by Steinhoff, though, what I liked about that is he turned, faced the ball, and never gave up on the play. The ball was a tad underthrown, which we don't see from Matt Meacham often, but Steinhoff made a super adjustment.
Second and goal. Meacham looks, fires to his left. That's going to be caught, but Landon Hammond is going to be short of the end zone. He'll pick up a handful of yards. That'll bring up, I think, he's going to be out at about the 4-yard line, so it should be third and goal from the 4.
And you always have to honor and respect Andrew Wanzenreed. We mentioned that he's been having a nagging injury all season. It's nice to see these other players step up when maybe he's not on top of his game.
So it's third and goal from the 3.
And for everything that Ben Cook has done tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a carry here.
We'll see if Steve's right. Here's the snap. Meacham rolls out to his right, looking, waiting, surveying, throws it across his body, and it's caught. Believe is that number 11? Yes, it is.
Of course it is.
That's Andrew Wanzenreed finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. The Cougars extend their lead. Just look at the patience by Matt waiting for the play to develop.
Right, I think maybe Hammond was the first read there. He was covered. Wanzenreed finds a spot in the zone, sits back there, and Meacham's able to deliver.
And he had to contort his body to get the velocity on the ball there to the back of the end zone for Meacham as Avery Reynoldson attempts the PAT. It's up, and it's good. So Cougars 26, DWC 3. Cougars pulling away here in the fourth quarter, and it's hard to believe only a couple plays ago it was that dropped, potentially touchdown pass for Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton, and now.
And it's 14 points in the span of less than a minute and a half for the Cougars. So you've mentioned this tonight. I mentioned it is the opportunity that DWC had early we're unable to capitalize on. Now HFL is coming out full blast. Here's the fumble that was caused. Right there up top, Harrison Houle with a tackle.
Paul Iacobucci as well in there.
And Connor Finn, we mentioned him as an offensive player to watch, but he's come away with 2 turnovers tonight.
So the turnover sets up the touchdown. Couple other key plays. Here was that Beautiful catch. Concentration by Steinhoff.
Right. See how he had the hands up? He's following the ball all the time. The defender was never able to see the ball. Easy call on the flag, but you like to see the player make that catch because he really earned it.
So here's the Cougars kicking off. This kickoff brought to you by, as always, Alexander Enterprise, who specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120. Here's that's Reese Dixon on the return. He's going to get up towards the 28-yard line. Take another look at that return by Dixon.
Dixon's played a good game tonight. He's been matched up on Wanzenreed for the majority of the plays on defense, made several catches on offense, and now he's back returning kickoffs. And I think we'd be remiss, Peter, if we didn't mention Andrew Wanzenreed and Matt Meacham. Ever since the start of last season, they've had that special bond, that special connection. And for them to get that touchdown on senior night, I'm sure it's meaningful. They're both the career record holders in touchdown passes and touchdowns received. So that's a nice moment for them.
And we talked about it during the senior night recognition. That was Matt's most proud achievement. And we didn't know it at the time during the homecoming game, but as we mentioned after the fact, Andrew Wanzenreed did eclipse and set the record for most receiving touchdowns in a career by an HFL wide receiver. So DWC keeps it on the ground, and it's Aaron Fasek who makes a stop in the background, and that's somebody who Coach Russ raved about in our call this week.
He did, and Aaron, he just said it. Aaron is starting to feel it and trust it, and in the beginning maybe there was too much thinking. Now it's read, react, and hit and wrap. He said his tackling's been phenomenal, and we saw that right there.
And I think he pointed to the Batavia game when it just started to click for him.
Yep.
It was like, hey, if I pay attention to these couple keys, it's going to take me right to the ball.
Right.
And we've seen tonight and the last couple of games for HFL, him just making those reads and filling the correct gap and making plays like that tackle for a loss there on first down. So 2nd and 12, Gardner to throw, lofts it up and incomplete, looking in the direction of number 4. That's Van Derm Blackman.
And I remember asking Matt Meacham and Andrew Wanzenreed at the beginning of the season about that connection they have. And Andrew Wanzenreed never played football until 8th grade. His mom actually told him he had to run cross country, which he did in 7th grade, and he said, no, I want to try football. And Matt said something to the effect of, we haven't had that football connection forever, but we've been best friends since 2nd grade, so we've had that friendship connection, and that has definitely shown in the last 2 years where they put up huge numbers.
Cross country, something that's been very successful here.
Oh, for sure.
At HFL. The Bernie Gardner coach teams have brought home countless sectional blocks as well as state titles. So you can understand maybe why a parent at HFL wants their kids on one of those teams. As 3rd and 12 here for DWC, it's going to be caught by Van Derm Blackman, and he's going to be short of the first down marker. It's going to bring up 4th and long.
And it looked like they're dropping into punt formation. So HFL really wrestled this game away from DWC. They went out and took it. It was hanging there and could have gone either way. And then HFL, with that drive at the end of the first half, said, no more hanging around. We're going to try and establish ourselves and get the job done. We think maybe a fake here?
Cougars expecting one here. They're in a safe punt formation as it's a rugby-style kick. End over end. It's going to take a bounce and then an HFL roll. So it's going to be maybe a 15-yard punt when it's all said and done about.
Yeah, I think that maybe there was a punter option there, the way he ran out. They did do rugby the last time, and there were a ton of guys downfield, so maybe it wouldn't have worked. But down 26-3, 8:27 to go. Cougars offense on the field at the 46 of Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton.
And the decision-making by DWC, I think, tells us what's transpired over the last couple of minutes, where we saw them previously go for it in a similar situation inside their own territory. There they punt, and HFL starts with great starting field position as Cook makes a big slip of the tackle in the backfield and is able to cut ahead for about 6 yards there.
Just a huge night for Ben Cook. And as you said, making the first man miss is the key. That could have been a loss. He makes the first man miss, and then he's got blockers in front, and he's able to turn a potential loss into a 7-yard gain.
So 2nd and 4, under 8 to go in the fourth quarter.
I mean, it's been a special senior night for Ben Cook, too. You kind of just see him as he's come on and really provided a spark. His screen pass on that first touchdown drive really is maybe the key play that got HFL going tonight.
And here's a handoff to Cook, who's going to be close to the first down marker. Looks like they're going to give it to him. Waiting on the official spot, and yep, he's got it. That's a Cougar first down brought to you by HFMP. HFMP is proud to be a good neighbor to the HFL community for 40 years.
7th first down of the second half for the Cougars after they only had 4 in the first half. So they've definitely found their offensive momentum.
A tale of two halves, if you will.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
1st and 10 for HFL. Drew Angelo shifts inside. Handoff to Hool. And Hool's going to be tackled by Zayden Teed for DWC after a gain of 2 or 3 yards.
And we are 7 minutes, so almost halfway through the fourth quarter here. You start thinking ahead a little bit. HFL Wayne next week. Another tough game that you got to go on the road. If you want to put yourself in contention for that number 2 seed in sectionals, it's a game you probably need to win. And just the response after the tough start by the Cougars tonight has been impressive.
So bunch to the far side for HFL, who seems to be taking their time here as we approach the 6.5-minute mark. Another handoff to Hool. Hool's able to break a tackle and
use the umpire as a screen there.
Works out past inside the 30-yard line, and he'll be tackled at the 27. So it'll bring up 3rd and about 2.
Good read by Cook. Ken Torcha tries to get out of the way, but unable to. Hool slows down, close down 3rd and 2.
And it's Nate Gardner, quarterback for DWC, who makes the tackle, playing defensive back for DWC.
And I'm so happy that Nate's been able to come back this season. And, we mentioned 4 plays into the opener, he was hurt. And, so many times players aren't able to come back. And you can see that he's a difference maker and a player that plays with a lot of heart, and he's definitely an all-league caliber player who's meant a lot to his team.
So HFL takes their first time out of the second half. Brought to you by Main Street Cafe, your hometown cafe, with a location in both the village of Honeoye Falls and the hamlet of Mendon, with a wide-ranging menu, including breakfast sandwiches, paninis, wraps, salads, milkshakes, and fresh fruit smoothies. There's sure to be something for everyone. Be sure to ask about their catering services and how they can help create a unique menu for your next special event. Main Street Cafe prides itself on their fresh, made-to-order food and daily specials. So, yeah, not to look too far ahead, but you mentioned that Wayne game. Now, I am not a walking encyclopedia here or HFL historian, but I'm trying to think that I believe the last time HFL went to Wayne, it was a 21-20 victory for the Cougars, and it was a very meaningful victory that guaranteed them home field advantage through the playoffs a couple years ago.
It was. I think it was at the time you weren't sure because I think it was earlier in the season, but it came down to special teams, and HFL was able to convert all of its PATs, and Wayne missed one. And I know Wayne had a tough game today with Monroe, and but Coach Marine always has that team ready going on the road. HFL need to be sharp if they're going to bring home the win. And
we've got some pre-snap motion and waiting on the call here. It looks like it's on HFL. They're going to march off the 5. So false start by believe that was number 56 for HFL. Anthony Soso will bring up 3rd and 7 now for the HFL offense. Matt Meacham in the shotgun.
Might give him a chance to throw it one more time here, maybe a slant route.
Here's Meacham to throw, looks, lofts one up, looking for Steinhoff, and it's just a little bit too much air under it, went out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 7 for now for HFL now.
And that was good coverage by the DWC defensive back. I believe it may be number 1, Joshua Nichols. He was able to leverage Steinhoff towards the sideline, never really got a break, never got behind him, and the play just broke up.
So they're going to keep the offense on the field. Drew Angelo shifting to the left side of the field. 2 receivers set. Ben Cook to Meacham's right. Meacham to throw. First read's not there. Under pressure, has to roll out to his left. Still looking around. And he just launches it out of bounds. And they're going to say incomplete. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. Didn't matter if it was intentional grounding or not. He was outside the tackle box.
Yeah, Matt tried to buy time. Caleb Knapp did a nice job for DWC getting there. And Meacham just trying to avoid the loss there, threw it away. But on 4th down, you know that the possession's going to change.
So DWC will get the ball back here at their own 32-yard line. 5 minutes and 33 seconds here to go in the 4th quarter. Do we have a, I'm not sure. It looks like just an untied shoe there. Not an injury for DWC. So quick equipment fix, and DWC lines up. And Gardner is again communicating with his wide receivers pre-snap. Here's a pass play. Gardner's going to be dropped.
Krigo got him first, got him low, and then Ben Cook over the top. Short gain there.
Now they're going to maybe say he did not get back to the line to gain, loss of 1, so it's going to be 2nd and 11.
You see number 10, Jack Farabell, in the defensive backfield for the Cougars now.
Cougars probably with 5 minutes to go and a 23-point lead, starting to cycle in some of the twos here on defense.
Get some reps. You know, everybody's one play away when you get to the end of the season, and you want to make sure that everybody's game ready, or as many people as possible can be game ready.
So 2nd and 11. Here's Gardner to throw, lofts it up, looking far sideline, and that's intercepted. Intercepted by the Cougars. Connor Finn, 2nd of the night. He's inside the 20. Inside the 5, diving for the pylon, waiting for the call. And he's got it. Connor Finn. A pick 6 for HFL.
Gardner kind of throws this up here at midfield. Finn's a safety. We've seen him make a ton of big plays all year. Reads it, catches it right at the 50, and then he turns into a running back coming down the sideline. Able to cut back at the 30, and then gets a great block from Englert. Englert just snowplows a couple of guys, and Finn finds the pylon. What a return. We had him as the offensive player to watch, Peter, but with 3 turnovers tonight, guess what? He was a defensive guy to watch.
And here's Avery Reynoldson for the point after. Kick up and off the upright, and laces were not out again, Steve. That's something HFL's going to have to walk away needing to clean up through the week.
And we know they spend a lot of time on special teams, and those extra points aren't going to matter as much tonight. But you mentioned the game at Wayne a couple years ago where it came down to an extra point, and you get in sectionals, you don't want to leave points off the board.
So Connor Finn, as we mentioned, will take another look at this. 3 turnovers tonight on defense. We knew he was going to be a player to watch. We said offense. He did generate points. He did take away points as well on defense. And just great vision. I mean, we talked about him being a utility player. And, look, he's calling out blocks there, working. And then just, we talked about Meacham willing the team into the end zone on the team's first touchdown, just laying out, extending the ball, finding the pylon. HFL 32, DWC 3 with about 4.5 to go in the 4th quarter, as we'll have a kickoff brought to you by Alexander Enterprises. Alexander Enterprises specialize in home remodeling, renovations, additions, kitchens, bathrooms, garages, new builds, decks, and painting. Give them a call before you start your next project at 624-9120.
And just watching that again, Englert, they wanted that defensive score. And I think a pretty safe prediction here. Connor Finn, Class B Defensive Player of the Week. 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, 1 fumble recovery. If somebody's had a better week on defense than Connor Finn, I want to see who it was.
And a little pooch kick here, and that's going to be a live football, going to be ultimately picked up by DWC. And they're going to start with field possession at about their own 41-yard line, just straight up. And trying to dive and field it was a DWC player. But luckily, his teammate next to him is able to pick it up. So
was that Bender that actually got it and on the return there? Was that
I didn't catch who had it, but
it looked like 51.
the one thing that you got to remember, something that is now available at all levels of football, is calling the fair catch there. But then, of course, you do have to bring it in as well. So you don't have to worry about getting hit, but there's just a lot going on in that couple seconds there. So DWC is able to pounce on it. They'll have 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. Maybe try and get one score here.
Get that quality drive. Get that positive play or positive plays at the end of the game. And, you know, they'll probably be disappointed with the final result. But put a couple of things together because they've got Batavia next week. So they're the schedule maker at the end of the season didn't do them any favors.
And here's a handoff.
Engler.
I believe that was number 28 in Scheffler. And as you called, Owen Engler on the tackle for the Cougars.
A little Cooper Levine. Yeah, Engler's having a bit of a breakout game here. The enthusiasm on the interception return was one thing, but we've called his name 2 or 3 times on plays that he stopped at or near the line of scrimmage. And Coach Russ really did talk about regaining control of the line of scrimmage, and that he felt that happened in the second half of the Batavia game too. The offensive line started to get more push, and the defensive line started to give more resistance, and we're seeing that here as we wind down tonight.
2nd and 11. Here's the pass play. Lofts one up, and just a little bit too far. Laying out was Van Dern Blackman trying to make a play for DWC.
Yep, just a straight go route. Runs by the D-back, but the ball is just a step too far.
Sells out for it, though.
Yep, and the whole DWC team, Coach Perry told us that his team had that fight in them, and we've seen that all night long. They definitely don't look like a team that's about to go to 1-5 from the effort that we're seeing.
Yeah, and they came out. And credit to Meacham he forced that interception on the first drive. The offense was nowhere to be found up until late in the first half, and then they come out of the halftime able to score and double dip, as you mentioned, and it's been pretty much all HFL since. Here's a nice run play after the short pass. That is Aiden Schaefer. He's going to get past midfield and get a DWC first down inside the HFL 45-yard line at the 43-yard line. It'll be the spot, so 1st and 10 now.
And HFL running in some more players. We see up along the defensive line, number 60 checking in, Alessandro Pringle. Number 17 in the defensive backfield. We've got Gerald Lonthair II. So Jerry Lonthair is in. So a lot of players getting a chance to get a run in here on senior night.
So 1st and 10. Gardner to throw. Hit as he threw, and that's incomplete. Nice play there by Keaton Yates to break it up. Maybe had a shot at an interception.
Good pressure off the edge, too, by number 7, Holden Cam. He got pressure off the edge, and if the arm was hit, it was by Cam.
So the incomplete pass on 1st down will stop the clock. 2nd and 10 for DWC. And as we've mentioned, looks like HFL is going to get their 5th consecutive win of the season, as we have a handoff here to Blackman for DWC. HFL started 0-2.
They did.
And in our conversation with Coach Russ, we kind of look back to that Batavia game as maybe the springboard and the turning point for their season. And now they're on a 5-game winning streak.
And Coach Russ he said saying it was, the total turning point would be overestimating it, but the confidence that came out of that game, he said we've definitely gotten better, and that game boosted our confidence. We're not making the same mistakes that we were early in the season. our team has grown and matured. And I think we continue to see that every game, even tonight. The early adversity, Matt Meacham made a mistake early, but he didn't let it phase him, and when his team needed him to lead, he led.
So 3rd and 8, Gardner under duress, and he's dropped in the backfield.
Looks like Holden Cam had the initial pressure there, and then Mitchell Martini finished him off. So Cam's gotten good pressure off the edge a couple times this drive. He forces Gardner back to the middle, and then Martini's there just to fall on the quarterback and make the sack, set up the 4th down.
And when we talked to Coach Russ at the beginning of the season, we talked about the tough battles that they were going to face. There was a real possibility that they might start 0-3, and he knew that it was going to be a tough schedule out of the gate, and he said, that's okay. You can't win sectionals in the first 3 weeks. We just got to learn and get better, and the team has gotten better, I think, every week. Been working on different things as we have a punt here by DWC. Spiraling kick high. Going to take a bounce. Keep rolling inside the 20. Making its way to the 15-yard line. DWC downs it at the 16-yard line. Just getting better and better. And I think for DWC, they were kind of deprived of that with the injuries and all the adversity that they've faced week in and week out. They just couldn't get better every week because it seemed like every game it was somebody else. And they finally are getting some of those guys back from earlier in the season. And we talked about kind of maybe some of the steps that they've made from last week to this week.
Yeah, and it will be really interesting a week from tomorrow when the sectional pairings come out, because right now DWC is the 6. Are they going to fall to the 7, or are they going to stay in the 6? If they're not going to be an easy first-round game. That's going to be a game where whoever draws them is going to need to show up and play.
So on 1st down, HFL in victory formation here. Takes a knee. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for HFL. Should need to take only one more kneel down to make this thing official, and there it is.
Is that Matt Meacham on senior night taking the last 2 snaps?
That is Matt Meacham in victory formation as the crowd gives them one last cheer. Cougars 32, Dansville, Wayland-Cohocton 3. That'll be our final here. If we could get maybe the scoring plays queued up, we'll just go one last run through of tonight's highlights as the two teams meet at midfield. DWC will have Batavia next week. Cougars will travel to Wayne. This will be our last regular season broadcast on the Sentinel. Be sure to stay tuned for potential playoff broadcasts, as here's Matt Meacham, who scored first for HFL to make it 6-3 in the last minute.
Then here we come with the first drive of the second half. Ben Cook, who was a battering ram all night, 2 yards out, 6:56 to go in the third. Cougars jump in front 12-3. And then Keaton Yates finds the end zone on a nice play fake. Matt Meacham delivers the strike.
And then here's Meacham rolling out to his right, extending the play, and he finds old reliable Andrew Wazenreed across the back of the end zone.
And that play was 10:26 into the fourth quarter, and HFL scored 3 touchdowns in the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. Here comes probably the play of the night for the Cougars defense. Connor Finn, playing free safety, intercepts the pass at midfield, takes the ball down the sidelines, calls out a couple blocks, gets 51, Owen Englert in front to drive two players out of the way, dives for the pylon. Cougars touchdown, close out the scoring 32-3.
So as we mentioned, final 32-3. We want to thank all of our sponsors from this past season. We want to thank tonight's crew, Chris Carosa, Tom Midney, Katarina Carosa, and Oliver Hansen. Without the folks behind the cameras, tonight's broadcast wouldn't be possible. As I said, stay tuned. We'll have to wait to see how the sectional bracket works itself out. And as usual, the Sentinel will try its best to get the rights to broadcast any of the home HFL football games through the postseason. So, Steve, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, Season 4, Peter, it's been a lot of fun with you. Senior night, always fun to see these players that we watch for 2 or 3 seasons get their recognition, and I think the Cougars are trending in the right direction. At halftime of the Batavia game, we didn't know where they'd be, but sitting at 5-2 heading into the last game of the regular season, this team is positioning itself to make some noise in the postseason.
So with that, I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley. As always, thanks so much for tuning in to the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live on YouTube. Until next time, we'll see you later.